there really was a Hollywood. There isn't today, and if something isn't done by the men who want to make pictures, there never will be another Hollywood. The reason for that Hollywood, not only from MGM, but from Warner's, from 20th Century, from Universal, from all of the men who believed in making films, was that they developed talent. They developed directors, they developed people who came in as possibly laborers and became directors. The great Jack Ford came in as an assistant to somebody, but developed. That's what acting is about. That's what that type of entertainment is about. There are many kinds of talents and many great artists. A painter, a man painted a ceiling that will stay as long as other men can look at it. Van Gogh went into the fields with a piece of canvas and painted a masterpiece. That's what a painter needs. A writer, a man who became a very big man in this business as the head of a studio, but was originally a writer. I once said to him that the son of a mutual friend of ours, I believe, could be a writer. He said, let him take paper and pencil and write. That is true. A writer can go into a room by himself and write a play. A sculptor can take mud or clay of some kind and make a figure. A musician needs an instrument, but an actor, he is the instrument that produces another living, breathing human being. But what he needs are words from somebody else, a story, a poem, whatever it is, he needs to be given that vehicle. He then needs usually a costume. He needs a place to show it. And most importantly, he needs an audience. Because if you don't hear him, you know, Grandma Moses didn't need anybody, she just painted. That is why there was a Hollywood. That is why today, yes, there is talent, unquestionably, but you cannot become a star that is lasting, a figure that is lasting by doing a film every 3 years. You've heard that saying, an actor needs to work. They need to work. They need to be helped. They need to be developed. They are not doing that today. When a beautiful talent like Meryl Streep, she hasn't made a film in what, 2.5 years? I mean, the actual production of the film, we saw it last year. But the production of that film goes back 2 or 2.5 years or more. You cannot. You have to work. Actors must work. Why do actors say, I haven't worked in such a long time? That's what made Hollywood. And if they don't do it, there won't be one. Because even in television, you can come on week after week, and then when that goes off, if you don't do anything else for 5 years, you're not a star any longer. I'm talking about what built. I don't care whether it was Katharine Hepburn or Spencer Tracy. They needed to work. And if they made a bad picture, I remember very well in the years at MGM that Clark Gable made a film in which he played an Irish political character, wore exactly the same outfit that he wore in Gone with the Wind, except for the hat. Absolute failure. But he had 2 more pictures coming out that year, and you didn't remember the failure. That's a part of it. Now, as for my work, and I presume that's what you want to know about, I saw everybody that was brought on that lot either by an agent. I also had 1 afternoon a week. This is known by many. It never was in a magazine. I never let it be known. Only the casting office knew that if people came and said they wanted to see me, we made an appointment for the following week if I couldn't get them in that day. In other words, they could come off the street by themselves, and I would see and hear them. And that I did on my own because I believe in it. I believe that talent can exist that way and can be that way. You always didn't have a great agent. Janet, you know the story of Janet, don't you?
But I'd like you to tell me.
Well, that's a very true Hollywood story. Norma Shearer, I didn't find her. Norma Shearer saw her photograph on a desk in a ski resort in the northern part of California. I believe Norma Shearer's husband at that time was a very well-known skier.
Who came off the street that became famous? Who just walked in off the street?
Someone who was really talented. I can remember one. I must tell you a sad thing. You see, I made 4 copies of every person that I saw, regardless of where they came from. One went to Mr. Mayor's office, one went to Benny Thaw, who was a vice president in charge, so-called, of that end of the talent. One went to the casting office, one went to the people who were like talent scouts. One went to myself. Now, I cannot tell you any more than I can tell you that there is film that is kept and taken care of, that the reports that went to any of those offices are in existence. I know that mine, when I left MGM, I took home. But when I moved from my home after my divorce, in the excitement, I left them in the playroom, and when I sent back for them, the answer was that they had been destroyed. So I haven't any of them. And as I say, I do not know, because film hasn't been kept. Why would they keep anything like that? But I want to finish one thing. Why I say that the men who made films were responsible for having, whether I was the person or whoever they had at Warner Brothers or any of the other studios, the manner in which they did it, the men who made films, the heads of the studios, were responsible for that being that way. And the men today are only responsible for how much money it is going to cost, how much they are going to play a star, and how many loud effects they're going to have in a film. Because I have wanted to go, I can go to the Academy. In the last month, I haven't gone to see a film. There really isn't anything. I don't want to see a tornado. I lived through an earthquake. I really don't want to. I want to see something that's going to make me laugh, make me cry, make me know something that I never knew before, or feel something. I really do not want to see special effects.
Can you get back to who the actor or actress was who walked off the street and you discovered off the street?
As I started to tell you, I can't remember the names. After all, I'm going to be 93 years old. I've known many names, and the names sometimes escape me. But it was a young man, brilliant. We put him under contract. The atmosphere and all the things surrounding that can happen to anybody, any place, not only in Hollywood, happened to him. It was very sad. It would have been a very big star. He died very young from a bullet. That one I remember very well.
Did he make any films?
He was in one film, actually with Spencer Tracy.
And what was that year?
That was the film when Spencer, the name of it's going to escape me.
He was a sea captain?
No, remember when he took the men over the Northwest Passage? That was it.
All right.
Carol, we need a new take.
Oh.
Let's relax a minute.